Hey everyone, my name is Chris Lambert, and on this channel we talk Kanye West, and we are back with a second video tonight to talk about a little bit of a Donda update, just those little rumblings and happenings. You can see here on We Need Hope, no, on West Sub Ever, that user We Need Hope posted Dame Dash's story shows an MP4 titled With Child, and the duration of the movie is an hour and 24 minutes and 1 second, which we'll talk about in a second. But you can see here these series of photos, and this is what they're talking about with child back behind and the video down here. And when you zoom in, you can see that's the with child. And when you zoom in, the time down there, which is a little hard to see, oh, that helps. You can see the 0001 2101, which we'll talk about in a second. And then a whiteboard here, which doesn't seem to be Kanye related, right? None of these are really lining up with songs that we saw from Kanye. But funny that Dame also uses the dry erase board, which is something that we've seen Kanye use a lot of. But the speculation started being that maybe these are two separate movies, right? Because we had seen the photo from a couple weeks ago, not a couple weeks ago, just last week, of Angels, like Hype Williams, like by Kanye West, and everybody's like, oh my goodness, is this like the movie? It got renamed from Donda with Child to Angels. Okay, Kanye changes things all the time. And you can see here Dame Dash's story shows an MP4 file with child, and the duration is 124. But somebody posted here, Mateus, are you sure it isn't 001 out of 2401? Meaning that this is a, oh my God, this is going to be even harder to see. That this is 2101 rather than 2401. But essentially that you have 21 minutes of footage, and this is at the 1 second mark. No, it won't stop. Okay. And that's at the 1 second mark, which kind of makes sense because if you look at the main photo, it just looks like it's at the very start, like completion, combination, something. But one of the things that stands out is the tab at the top of the screen. Which, where is it? Oh, somebody circled it up here. Okay. You can see up here that it shows the Dropbox for that website, right? And it goes 821, the project rough. And that's the thing. This might have been from August 21st. And the Angels photo that we saw was from a little later, I do believe. I know, I can just go to West Sub Ever and scroll down. Where's this Angels? Angels. This was it, right? No. That's sad. This was it. Yeah, Angels. So this was August 30th. So we're talking like 9 days between like what Dame Dash was looking at and what this potentially was, which in 9 days a lot can happen with Kanye. So either with child, what Dame is looking at is a different thing than Angels, the Hype Williams film, or it's just the same thing but the title got changed, right? Because we saw when Kanye was posting track lists, he had Future Sound as Future Bounce or Future Bounce as Future Sound, and some names were like a little off or changes being made. So I wouldn't put it past for Kanye to like suddenly decide to change the movie title, have the album be called Donda with Child, have the movie be called Angels. There's even speculation, as I just keep opening this, when we first saw this picture, that Angels was going to be a song title, the same way that the Runaway movie, while it covers My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, is Runaway, right? It's not My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And you can see this movie was 34 minutes and 31 seconds, which is why that kind of 21-minute range might make a bit more sense. Though somebody had also positioned that it was just a minute 21, and that's all that it was because it's a teaser. And you can see here it says with Donda TZR, so with Donda teaser rather than like the full thing. So that could also be the case, which really just means that we don't know. We don't know enough. We're just speculating based on these like odds and ends that we're seeing. So is this an older thing that Dame Dash is just like currently looking at that's been retitled? Is it something completely different and this is just kind of like a longer music video? We'll see. We'll see. And somebody else had pointed out that it actually had said a visual album right? Where is it? I guess it must have been on the Twitter. Anyway, it says visual album, so maybe oh no, that was the next tweet. Okay, here. Additional info to the last post. It can be seen in the back of the browser tab. It says KW visual album. There's also a semi-clear screenshot of the track list. Is Donda going to be a visual album plus a movie? Which would be kind of wild. You can almost see like the full link to look at this thing. But that's where it says visual album. And then, yeah, they say that this is the track list, but I don't know if it's actually the track list. Yeah, I don't recognize most of those. Yeah, the track titles don't sound yay either. So, yeah, and a visual album, who knows? It might be something like Because the Internet's, right? Where there was like a screenplay and a whole movie that went along with the album. Or maybe you're supposed to watch Angels or With Child as you listen to the album, and there's that coordination. It seems like something that Kanye should have done earlier, or may have done earlier, because he was, before a musician, a visual artist, right? And he talks about having synesthesia. When he makes music, he sees colors, and he sees kind of the song as a painting. So I'm actually surprised it's taken him this long to really do this visual combination with an album and have it be much more, I mean, speculating that it's much more of a official visual album, right? Because My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, you get the Runaway movie, which really supports the album and adds a visual element to it, but at the same time feels so distant because it wasn't, I guess it was kind of packaged, but it feels a little bit forgotten about, even though there's 26 million views on the video. It's just, I don't think a lot of people listen to the album and go to the video and watch the movie and be like, okay, I'm sitting here listening to this song and tracking it through this progress. I guess I just view this as more of a stepping stone to what Kanye could do and what he could do with a visual album. So if he's really going that route with it, and that's why this is taking so much longer, because it has a few more dimensions to it than just being the album, we're in for a treat. I think that's if he doesn't scrap it. So I guess we'll see. But that's where we're currently at. And then Mike Dean the other day, in response to Kanye saying, like, well, most people's records that are co-produced by Kanye West usually are their best record. And Mike Dean had / Mike Dean, since Mike Dean is usually involved in that process. And you have this guy here being like, then why aren't you on Donda, Mike Dean? And calls him a clown. Imagine calling Mike Dean a clown. Amazing. The audacity. And then Mike Dean just comes back, I am fool, which is the first confirmation that we've gotten from Mike that he is, it feels wrong calling him Mike, even though I've called him Mike in person. Like, hey, Mike, thanks. But I always just want to call him Mike Dean. He seemed to say like a couple weeks back that he wasn't on Donda, but now he's saying I am fool. So boom, the gang is all back together. But also that means that if Mike is getting involved in the process at this point, maybe it's a little further along than what we're expecting, because he usually comes in with some more of the production elements or some of the mixing and mastering. So if he's already saying I am and I'm working on it, maybe that's part of where we're at with the process, is that Kanye's kind of done a lot, sent it over to Mike Dean to kind of listen to, have responses to. Maybe it's just a song or two, but that he's starting to get busy with it, so to speak. So pretty awesome. And we'll see if there's any follow-up to this Dame Dash stuff, right, in the upcoming days. But I do wonder if this was the version from 821, just where we're at with it now, and how old this is, why they're watching it now, etc., etc. But that does it. Let's get into the ending spiel. If you're enjoying the channel, the best way to support us is to, or the easiest way, not the best. The best way is to give money, but the easiest way is just liking, subscribing, or commenting, as those things tell YouTube that this is a channel people are enjoying. But speaking of money, since you asked, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/Kanye podcast, and you can get our line-by-line lyrical analysis of Kanye's discography there. We actually just started a new season on late registration. We had talked about the album from 2016 to like 2018 as we were doing our initial run through Kanye's discography, doing our line-by-line analysis, that we become famous famous for, um, most well known for, or well known for. Yeah, you get it. But it's been a long time since we covered that, and we've learned a lot from Yay, Kids See Ghosts, Jesus is King, and just going through the rest of the albums that gives us a different perspective and appreciation for late registration at this point. So we're actually going to be doing 2 songs a week, releasing those episodes over the next, 6 weeks or 7 weeks, whatever it is to get through late registration. But we'll be following that up with Graduation, 808s and Heartbreak, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Yeezus, and The Life of Pablo. And all of that content is going to be exclusive to Patreon for a majority of the time. Might make some small appearances on the public feed, but it won't be there for long. So if you want to support us and follow along with all of those new episodes, getting 2 episodes a week, patreon.com/Kanye podcast. And then lastly, I write novels. Nobody cares though, but my second book, Killer Unconquered, just came out. There'll be links in the description if you want to read my pretentious literary fiction for my first book, Killer and Victim, and then the second one, Killer Unconquered, which any support just watching this video to this point in the video means a lot. So thanks for making it this far. And until next time, stay wavy and keep it loopy. Cheers.